Welcome back, warrior. We are reading Exodus chapter 8 today, and it has 32 verses, and it is, guess which plague? Do you know all your plagues in an order? Okay, so the first one was what? The serpents. Well, no, I guess that one was just a display of power, but the first one was the water turned to blood. Okay, so the second one is frogs. Okay, the plague of frogs. Okay. Oops, somehow I pressed something. Oh, here we go. Holy smokes. All right. Guess what? Our first letters went out, and I just need to say that it is so exciting. I'm so excited. Okay, the Lord sends plagues of frogs, lice, and flies upon Egypt. Oh, so all those, okay? Pharaoh hardens his heart, which we know is him choosing to harden his heart, because the Lord does not harden people's hearts. As much as we'd like to blame him for a lot of things, he doesn't make those choices for us. Okay. So, here we go. And the Lord spake unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh and say unto him, thus saith the Lord. Hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Whoops. It's like I don't know how to use an iPad or something. Okay, here we go. Thus saith the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants. And the Lord spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand, and with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, entreat the Lord that he may take away the frogs from me and my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, glory over me. When shall I entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses, that they may remain in the river only? And he said, tomorrow. And he said, be it according to thy word. I was reading bet. Because that's totally not how they spoke, okay? But be it according to thy word has bet in it, because it's like be it, bet. Anyway. That thou mayest know, our Gen Zers, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Lord because of the frogs, which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. Oof. Gross. Okay. So, let's see. Imagine all of the opinions and theories that would have been swirling throughout the land, and how everyone would have had different opinions of what was happening and what should be done. And then the Lord announced that the next plague, a plague of frogs, that will come forth abundantly and literally be everywhere. This will be another plague upon their precious river, and we will be more troublesome than the last plague, because the frogs would be everywhere all the time. I used to collect baby frogs and put them in little cassette tape cases and bring them with me to school. And I would put them in my desk area. And that was where I would keep them. And just in my little desk, and this was back in the day when we did not move like desks 30,000 times a day, you know. But it was like my desk, and I just stayed there every day. And so that's what I did. It's kind of crazy now because I would not go near a frog right now. Anyway, it is an interesting thought that God could have delivered Israel through military power or some other majestic way. But here he was delivering them through frogs. Such a small creature. But does this not show the greatness of his power and how he has the ability to deliver in ways that we would never think of? So true, right? Also, the Egyptian goddess of fertility was Hecate, who was represented in the form of a frog. Why would we represent fertility in a frog? As the Old Testament seminary teacher manual states, quote, the plagues served an important purpose. They showed Pharaoh of Egypt and the Israelites that Jesus Christ, Jehovah, is more powerful than the false Egyptian gods. Egypt had many false gods, including the Pharaoh himself. End quote. Old Testament seminary teacher manual, lesson 44. I just need to stretch out my shoulders. I sleep on my side, so my shoulders get crunched. And so, yeah. Anyways, then Pharaoh called Moses and said that he would release the Israelites if the frogs were taken from him. But once the frogs were gone, Pharaoh refused to let the Israelites go. What? Let's read that. Okay. So it says, verse 15. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart and hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. So it happens, you know. Sometimes we're like, help us, Jesus. And then we're like, oh, good. And then we ignore him, you know, when times are better, you know. And the Lord said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Okay, so we got frogs and lice now. We got blood, frogs, and now lice. And that is worse. That's when I got my hair cut. That's when my mom cut my hair so short, which, by the way, super traumatic because I loved my hair. I was doing my own hair when I was like 5. Anyway, and like I love my hair like length and everything. And when I showed up to my, 3rd grade class because I had lice, and my mom had literally picked out all the lice from my hair, then cut my hair. I don't know why that was the strat there, but she cut my hair, looked like a boy. There was zero style. And I thought I looked like a boy. And to top it all off, my best friend, who I sat next to all of 3rd grade up until that point, was like, who's the new boy in class? And I was like, oh my goodness, like trauma for the rest of my life about my looks and my hair. There you go. And now we know why we have so much of it. Okay. And they, verse 17, and they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Oh, I can't even imagine. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. Well, yeah, not that you would anyway. Don't do that, even if you can, you know. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. And the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. So the plague of lice or gnats. So this next plague came without a warning to Pharaoh, who had just broken his promise to release the Israelites, right? Well, we should all have consequences when we go back on our promises, right? And who has broken his promise to release the Israelites. And then the Lord instructed Moses to tell Aaron to stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout the land of Egypt. Josephus attributed this plague to the Pharaoh's falseness. since he said he would release the Israelites if the frogs were taken from the land. But once he got what he wanted, he did not keep his word. Also, like Pharaoh, you're now talking to God through a prophet. Like, holy smokes, this is next level. Like, he could have taken advantage of this amazing opportunity, right? And instead he's like, I'm not going to keep my promise. Like, not a good play. So Josephus says, accordingly, God punished his falseness with another plague added to the former. For there arose out of the bodies of the Egyptians an innumerable quantity of lice, by which wicked as they were, they miserably perished, as not able to destroy this sort of vermin, either with washes or with ointments, at which terrible judgment the king of Egypt was in disorder upon the fear unto which he reasoned himself, lest his people should be destroyed, and that the manner of this death was also reproachful. Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews, chapter 14. Lice were particularly troublesome as they would attack the skin, ears, nostrils, and eyes. Oh, like I can't even with the details, you know? They were known for driving beasts to madness and even death. Imagine for a moment what this would have been like for the Egyptians. This would have been an unrelenting, physical, painful plague. Remember, these guys aren't even used to hard work. They're just used to like laying around doing nothing. So if like you're laying around doing nothing, you've never experienced anything hard in your life, and you have servants and slaves and they do all your work for you, the first hint of like you're going through a hard time, you're going to be out. Like, you're not having a good time anymore. So this would have been unrelenting, physical, painful plague. They would have been constantly looking for relief, right? What do you think they would have tried? So many things. Did they know that this was coming because of their leader's choice to refuse to let the Israelites go? Oh, I would have been so mad if I would have found that out, you know? Did they know that worse things were still coming? Were they appealing to Pharaoh? If so, was he listening? Well, clearly he wasn't listening. So Geb was the Egyptian god of the earth. So when the Lord had lice come forth from the dust of the earth, the Lord's power was again demonstrated. This time, the magicians tried to imitate this plague, but they could not. And they confessed to Pharaoh that this was the finger of God. But Pharaoh wouldn't listen, and he hardened his heart. Okay, so now we're on verse 20. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. Okay, so first, the plague of blood. Second, frogs. Third, lice. Fourth, I just read it, flies. So hopefully the frogs are still there to eat the flies. And upon thy people and into thy houses, and the house of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. Ugh. Did you just get chills? I got chills. Okay, and I will also, here's the thing, the Israelites are currently serving Pharaoh. They're doing what Pharaoh wants them to do. So the Lord is trying to get the Israelites to serve him, right? Something that we noticed when I was Relief Society president was that people couldn't or wouldn't, but more like couldn't, serve because they were in need. But once their like basic needs were met, they could serve. And it makes sense, because when you're needy, you're just needy. That's all you're thinking about. You're just thinking about you're a victim, even though we talk about like, victim mentality, and you shouldn't be a victim and don't think you're a victim. But like, when you don't have your basic needs met, you can't think of anybody else's needs. And the Lord wanted, well, I can't speak for the Lord, but obviously, if Pharaoh is making them work super hard, they're not able to worship in a way that the Lord would want them. And so that's why he was like, let my people go that they might worship me, right? And so it's like the Lord was trying to not only take care of his people, but also get them to a place where they wouldn't just be in like the victim, right? And after D-Day, it's the same. We are in victim mode, and only the Lord can deliver us from that. And it's extremely hard. And so yeah, like those are the things that when you're in victim mode, you can't serve. Like you just, like it's not in you to do that. Although once you can start changing your mind frame and your mindset and coming unto Christ more, he's able to deliver you from that, and then you're able to do those things like serving. But it is very hard. Okay, so then he says, let's see. So the flies. So verse 22, and I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And the Lord did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. And the land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, go ye sacrifice to your God in the land. Right? Like just go, right? Like this is a good time. And Moses said, it is not meet to do so, it is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. And Moses said, behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. Right? And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses. See, you see how that is? He did according to his prophet. And he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servant. He didn't entreat Pharaoh. He entreated Moses, right? And he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would let the people go. Okay, see, so now we're just getting sassy with the Lord, swarms of flies. So the flies came, and the land was corrupted, so they filled the land and destroyed it. Imagine swarms of flies all over your home, your food, and upon the ground. Imagine crushing flies with every step. And when you sat down or lay upon your bed, who's going to sleep with flies? I couldn't go to sleep with flies. This time Pharaoh began bargaining with the Lord to Moses. Pharaoh said, go ye sacrifice to the Lord, to your God in the land. Notice that Pharaoh was saying that they could do their sacrifices, but in the land rather than in the wilderness, as Moses had been demanding. But Moses explained that the Israelite sacrifices were seen as abominations to the Egyptians, and that they have to go at least 3 days' journey into the wilderness. Then Pharaoh said that they could go, but not very far away. Moses then said he would entreat the Lord, so ask him and see if it'd be okay. And he did. Okay, I have no idea where we left off here, because my phone stopped recording for no reason. Anyway, so I think that the reason why we are being shown these plagues with Pharaoh and the Israelites is because sometimes it's like and we might think Pharaoh, he's such an idiot, which could be true, but At the same time, how many times have we made promises with the Lord about us stopping doing something, or us doing something, and or us saying we're going to do something, or us saying we're going to go somewhere, and then we don't, right? And then it's like, we're the same. We're the same. We are the same. We are going back on our promises with God, and we don't know why. And this is the example of that, and right now I'm just like, so many of my things are coming to my memory, which is very sad to me. Because I know that when we make those promises, we literally are not trying to go back on our word. Like, we genuinely mean it, and then we get comfortable and we think that we don't need God, that we don't need Him anymore, that we don't need to do the thing that we promised that we would do, or we committed to doing. Like, just don't commit to doing it then. But then we don't want those plagues in our lives, right? So it's so hard. It's so hard, and it's the sacrifices that we make for the Lord, right? The Lord wants us to leave those idols and that kind of lifestyle where we are enslaved by our things, but sometimes by the people that we're around, or enslaved by our devices, or, like, just so many things. And yet He's trying to help us leave those things, and we make promises and we make promises, and or food maybe for some, and then we don't, so don't be so hard on Pharaoh, and instead look within, right? And see what it is about this story that we are to learn. What is it about this story that I need to learn, and why did they include it in the Bible? So that I could learn from it. Okay, we're going to do our read it, live it, and then we'll be done. It says, Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them. Even the magicians saw it. And they're the fake peeps, right? They're like, Psh, this is not fake stuff. They're like, this is real. God is real. God was moving, but Pharaoh refused to see what was right in front of him. So true. And the challenge is to see the hand of God. See the hand of God, whether it's good or bad. For you, obviously. Sometimes He sends those plagues to us because we need to be somewhere else, and we refuse to budge, right? He's trying to make more of us than we can make of ourselves. Okay, and I am talking straight to myself. Until Exodus chapter 9. It's like you don't even want to read it. It's like you don't even want to know what's going to come, because it's very sad. So until Exodus chapter 9, stay strong, warrior. Let's see how we're doing here on our treadmill tracker. Pretty awesome. Do you see how every day is a different distance? It doesn't have to be the same distance, unless you need it to be the same.